Welcome to the Creative Flame, episode 4. It's promised to be an exciting month coming up, but wait a minute, something's wrong. I don't have my co-hosts.
What's this?
This is kind of cool.
I want to go back the way it was.
All right. Is that better? Much better. Thank you. Alright, so we're going to have an awesome month coming up. I'm going to shoot 2 actual commercials to build my videographing brand so we can add to our reel. We've got 2 commercials we need to edit, but those are some legality problems, so it's just for private viewing. It'd be potential clients. It's not something I'll be able to make public. Unfortunately, Aaron wasn't able to join us this month, so hopefully we'll have him next month. But for now, our spotlight of the month.
I want to give a warm welcome to Daniel Dark, the master of dark, to the Creative Flame. Thank you very much for joining us today.
How you doing, David?
Oh, I'm doing great. A couple of problems this week, but not a problem now. We're here, and it is awesome. You are here. You want to tell us a little bit about your book?
Yes, Knife Tale is about basically the diary of Jack the Ripper before he becomes Jack the Ripper. What would have caused a man to become Jack the Ripper? And the trials and tribulations and his lostness in reality. There's a lot of people call it erotica, which is a cross between horror and erotica. To me, it was just a book that I wrote, and I had always wanted to find out a little bit more about what who Jack the Ripper might have been, previously to being a serial killer, and never could find anything out there about that because nobody had written a book on it. So I decided to write a book on Jack the Ripper, a prequel to him being a serial killer. So, but that is basically what the book is about. In the back of the book, I do give, it's set up as a diary. So every time he talks about eating food, I was a Victorian chef before, so I give the actual recipes from the 1800s for that food in the back of the book. So.
Oh, yeah. That was something I saw that you had at your booth. I still want to try your ketchup. For those that don't know, that he has his own ketchup that he creates and sold at Imaginarium. So you're working on a second book in the series, correct?
Yes, I'm working on my second book right now. Should have that to the publisher the first part of next month, and have them sending it to the editor and stuff. And also my ketchup book is at the publisher right now. My ketchup book is a Victorian recipe book. All the recipes are from 1910 to the late 1700s, and there's over 200 recipes for ketchup and over 60 different flavors of ketchup in there. Everything from like banana and anchovy ketchup to mushroom and walnut and tomato ketchup.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. You wrote the book in first person. For me, first person's a little off-putting, yet I highly enjoyed your style. What is your take of writing in first person?
For me, it's easier, actually. I've tried writing in the other parts of it. But for me, first person just seemed more natural to write this book in. And, to give it a perspective, because I was wanting it to be a perspective of who this man was and all the feelings that he would have. And that is what I was trying to convey over in the book, and writing it in first person, it just seemed easier to be able to do it with the message that I was trying to convey with the book.
You did an excellent job of that. Really loved it. Speaking of which, we have a signed copy of his book. Still no one has signed up for it, so if we do not give it away this month, we will carry it over for next month for a giveaway. So what do you have coming up next?
I have a book signing in Nashville on the 10th of next month at Vanderbilt Barnes & Noble. It's out on West End Avenue in Nashville. And that'll be a book signing, a question and answer period, a reading, and, you know, probably have my little bicycle there and, you know, and other things. For those that don't know a whole lot about me yet, the way you see me on here is the way I am every day. And I ride a penny farthing or a high wheel bicycle or a velocipede, as some people call it. You know, the name on the front of the bicycle is a bone shaker. And if you ever ride one, you'll know why it's called a bone shaker, because there's no suspension and there's solid rubber tires. The front wheel is 48 inches. The back wheel is 16 inches. So
It's the same type you have hanging on the wall, correct?
yeah.
Yeah, I'd seen you ride that there at the Imaginarium. Pretty awesome. It has to be interesting to ride.
It is. It's a fun bike to ride. It is a very hard bike to ride. It's a full body workout when you're up on it, because every time that you're pushing on the pedals, you're pushing on the handlebars. Because they're all connected. It's sort of like riding a tricycle with only one back wheel. So
Well, we can see you're busy with writing your second book. You have the Ketchup book coming out. It'll be out soon. And if I remember correctly, you're starting a podcast, correct?
yeah, I did a 7th Star Press podcast. And also I'm working on one on my own. I'm trying to work out issues with my equipment and everything. I've never done any of this stuff before, and I'm getting a lot of static in my equipment now, and I don't know what's causing it. So I've had to shut that down until I get this figured out, because I don't want to put out a podcast that people can't hear the podcast because of all the static. But that's Dark Readings with Daniel Dark, where I'm doing readings of other people's books and doing reviews of their books online. So
That's awesome. So where can we find you, Daniel, online?
on Facebook at Daniel Dark Author, and on Goodreads under Daniel Dark. You can also find me at 7 Star Press, which is my publisher, and Twitter under 1876 Ketchup, I believe is what you'll find me under there. And there's some other ones and everything. I don't know what they are right now. And you can find the book under Amazon, Barnes and Noble, any of those. So that
I should have had this book a little bit closer, but just a moment. Here it is. Daniel's Knife Tale, and he did sign a copy, so we have a copy for the giveaway. Very intriguing and awesome read. So I know I will see you at the Imaginarium in October down there in Louisville. So where else will we see you in that?
The one that I've got coming up in the end of April is the International Steampunk Symposium. I'll be at that. That's up in Cincinnati, Ohio. I'll be at Imaginarium. I'll be at Killer Nashville in the middle of the year there. And that is basically the only 3 that I've got locked in my schedule right now. So,
well, the year is early and you're a very busy fellow, so I appreciate you taking the time out to do this. Is there anything you would like to cover? When people are reading my book, this is not a kid's book. This is a book for adults. There is parts of it that are, that are bloody. There's parts of it that are sexy. There's parts of it that,
may be a little bit disturbing, and that's the reason it's an adult book. It is not a kid's book.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
very adult themed. However, as dark and as sexy as it was, you managed to pull all of the working parts so nicely together. Just reading the first paragraph made me laugh out and say, "Oh yeah, this is going to be good."
I appreciate that, Dave.
I wanted to say I truly appreciate you taking part of this. I'm uncertain my schedule at the moment, but if it's at all possible, I'm going to try to come out and see you before we meet up at the Imaginarium.
Okay. Do you have any more questions for me, Dave?
No, that is all I have for you today. I'm excited we were able to take time to do this. I encourage everyone to check out Daniel. When he has his podcast up and running, again, we'll link a video to it, and I will place all his information down in the Dilio-doo. So thank you.
Appreciate it, David. Y'all have a good day. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hey all, this month I'm going to review an interactive fiction I enjoy from Choice of Games, which I'll put their link right here. So, interactive fiction, if you don't know, is if you remember the old books you'd read through and they give you choices, you make the choice and you turn to that page. And of course you could cheat and bookmark and go back if you made a mistake. Well, interactive fiction's a little bit more in depth than that. Yeah, you live with the choices you make. So they can make choices hard, which makes the story interesting. And you have your stats, so it's kind of like a game, but still very much a book. I chose Community College Hero with Eric Moser. Very great author. I've met him a couple of times. We go down to the Imaginarium every year. In fact, he'll be down there this October doing one of the conference rooms talking about interactive fiction. So it's going to be awesome to see him down there, and hopefully I'll be able to take some time out and actually join in and hear the lecture. Well, the discussion. It's not really a lecture, it's a discussion with moderators, and I really enjoy those. But last year I was busy doing photos. But I got his book last year, but I just didn't have time to read it. But I finally sat down and read it this time. And now all I gotta say is, wow, really good story, really immersive, really deep. I don't like to give spoilers, so there may be a few spoilers here. I'll try to keep it simple, but you may not want to watch further because I will be talking a little bit about the story itself. So, you're a non-powered superhero. I think they can't use superhero. It's super powered, something like that, because copyright issues. But it was still, they're superhero basically. But you're the first one to attend a college of superheroes, being a non-powered super person. And there's a whole mythology behind how everybody got their powers, and but it's really immersive in that regards. It's the history and that, but it doesn't slow down the story at all. As I was going through, I was making friends, allies, a few enemies. I made some bad choices, but I managed to live to the end.
Hey all, welcome from Tips from the Road. I'm using a Bode character animator, CC. This is just a stock puppet. I'm working on my own, but it's going to take some time to draw and then figure out how to rig it. It's I don't think it's a huge learning curve, but it's I don't have a lot of time. Oh, I gotta sneeze. Okay, pardon me. But I've recorded this like 12 times, so I'm just going to continue because I need to get on to other projects here. But I want to talk about being a trainer. I work for Celadon. I've worked for them close to a year as a trainer. And I really like working with new students. The school teaches them just enough to pass the test. So it's a lot to train new students. But I really enjoy it. I'm only with them 4 days, and then they go to another trainer for 2 weeks. and then they go on from there. But it's a lot of fun, but it can be challenging. A couple weeks ago, I had a student that his backing was not horrible, but he needed a lot of work. So we were at a customer's property. They had a lot of room, so we were backing up. His first 2 backups, he was getting better. So we're and he had a lot of room, so he was pulling out for his 3rd time to come back around. So he pulls out, turns right, goes down, turns right to come back. And it's kind of like a U-turn to set up to do the 3rd backup. So he's getting down towards the end, towards the turn. And so I'm looking left to make sure there's no other trucks coming, no other problems. And I turn back and wham! He bashed into another truck. It was unfortunate. He didn't lose his job. It was he could tell he was stressed. He thought he was, gone through school, lost all his money, lost his job. It was for a little bit of property damage. What he did is he got too close to the trailers and clipped it with our trailer in front of another trailer, knocking off the glad hands and pigtail. And for those that don't know, that's where the air goes in for the brakes, and the pigtail controls all the lights, turn signals, flashers, stuff like that. So yeah, he clipped it just enough to clear that off. No damage to our trailer. So, it was a lot of paperwork on my end, a lot of phone calls, a lot of reassuring to the student. But we got through it. His backing was solid by the end of the time I was with him. And, he's gone on from there. But, being a trainer, we always have to be aware. It's even if we know that they've done this 2 times before and done it well, we have to watch every little bit because the student can get overconfident on something simple. So that's just my lesson from teaching students. But we will hopefully, I can't promise, but hopefully by next month I will have my new avatar up here and we will talk again. But take care.